Jolan true, Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates. I'm Lieutenant Commander Tyrek of the heavy cruiser RIS Sigris. I'm never going to get this name. As we continue our campaign against the United Federation of Planets, we have finally secured our first stronghold, thanks to the mighty effects of nuclear space mines and other such weapons. We've managed to grab the station that once patrolled the border at 1611, and we will now use this to attack the planet at 1511. So let's just pop in supply. We have taken 96 points of damage. We're also going to take a quick look through the shipyard, see if anything bigger than the KRCs come online. The VUL pluses are now out. These are the Vulture early dreadnoughts, 2260. They came out 10 years ago. That's what I get for not paying attention, although they are cheaper than the KRCs, probably because they have 2 anti-plasma torpedoes rather than the 4 FNGs that we are packing. But since there's nothing really interesting in the supply yet, we're just going to top off on all of our stuff. We are out of Marines, which was important in an episode, sort of-ish, not really, and spare parts, which desperately we need. Could go with a couple more mines. Thank you. That's a lot of cash. And we're at flat 1,000. That was actually completely coincidental, and I'm really happy that it happened. So now let's put the pressure on the planet, and of course it throws us into a shipyard assault. Not a huge fan of the shipyard assault. At least not this early, because it's really difficult to just run train on this mission. All hands to battle stations. We are escorted today, of course, by IKV Blue Fire. What did I hit? Something about a sensor sweep. Did I accidentally hit a pocket? Yes, I did. Whoops. Anyway, we're being escorted by the Blue Fire, also known as the IKV Azula, and it is equipped with no less than 4 missile launchers, an absolute metric ton of phasers, and 6 disruptors. So a small dreadnought, to be sure, but a C9 is a dreadnought. Currently squaring off against a galactic survey cruiser, as well as 3 Stardocks. Yeah, just that. Poor little guy. And we know it's a galactic survey cruiser because we saw GSC on the side. So GSC plus, that'll give you an additional phaser, I think? Or maybe 2 phasers. Is the plus modification an increase in engine power and a dual phaser mount that's 360? Because I think that's what it is for the heavy cruiser class, for the normal Federation CAs. Not quite sure. It's been a while since we've flown Federation. Anyway, the GSCs are really good early era ships. I mean, you wouldn't think that necessarily because, well, early era ship. But as you can see, they're really well-rounded. 2 photon torpedoes plus 4 missile launchers means they've got a lot of energy they can spend in other places that don't necessarily... Oh, this is going to hurt. It hurt. That doesn't necessarily have to be in weapon systems, so they've got a lot of weapon systems that they don't have to worry about. That's a scatter pack. Oh no, it's a Hawk, never mind. And also he's packing 4 phaser 1s and 4 phaser 3s. So this is actually a really flexible design for an early heavy cruiser. It doesn't last. It goes out of style very quickly, but other than that, it's a nice ship, and I do approve. We never had one because we moved into light cruisers that were equipped with, or heavy cruisers, yeah, light cruisers that were equipped as carriers, and then we moved into, well, you know, battle cruisers, like right off the bat. We didn't spend much time at all in the Federation heavy cruiser line, unless you count battle cruisers as heavy cruisers, which, for the record, I do not. So he's currently trying to bomb the crap out of us, and not enough luck. Slow down enough? Wow, that was actually really, really effective. But we are now down to star-castling speeds of 4, so he can't necessarily bomb us anymore. We did manage to get a really nice hit on his ship. We took out 3 of his 4 phaser 3s, 1 of his anti-missile defense systems, which for us doesn't matter, but for our buddy the C9, that will help. And I think this photon torpedo's offline. It may just be dented, though. So I'm thinking... Wow, that's some accurate photon torpedo fire, and it's a good thing we were putting so much power into our forward shields. But now if you're going to expose, I'm going to fire all of my phaser capacitor power into you. Unfortunately, we can't get all of the phaser capacitor power into it. The Klingon D7 design, which we borrow in the KRC, is not exactly great when it comes to absolute massive forward firepower. It's got these, well, we call them the collar phasers. The shoulder phasers are these ones on the outside. But the collar phasers are really great if you're going to go through somebody. But not so great if you're going to be on top of somebody. If you're just going to sort of skirmish at long range. Because it means you can't fire from the forward arc. And since the forward arc gives a lot of firepower, well, it can be a bit of a detriment. Although, to be fair, the Federation did make the mistake of thinking the forward arc was the only arc important enough. I've been thinking on Federation ship design as of late, just kind of randomly. And if you pay attention to the early... pardon me. If you pay attention to the early Saladin and Constitution class destroyer and heavy cruiser, respectively, you'll notice that they are pretty much entirely focused on putting out forward firepower at the total expense of stern protection. The Federation CA Standard especially has this problem in spades. The phaser arcs only cover a tiny sliver to the stern. By the way, we took a little bit of damage. Not a whole lot, and we're not down on any power nor any systems damaged. I think, yeah. But he did manage to get through. So let's pay attention to these. I think they're Gorn Stardocks. If that's the case, that's going to suck, because knocking out Gorn Stardocks is about as hard as knocking out Romulan Stardocks. Coincidence. And that'll mean it'll be armed with plasma. Hopefully it's not, but I don't have much faith that it isn't. If that makes any sense at all. Probe tells me, yep, defensive and F-type plasma torpedo. Okay, so we're going to have to really rely on our forward shielding. Unfortunately, we're an early era ship. We don't have a whole ton of that. So I think we can get up to 24 if we sort of go at 0 speed. We can do 23. This F-type plasma torpedo should give us back some energy once it's finished charging. What does that put us up to? Puts us up to 12. So we know that the Type F plasma torpedo is going to go out with a power of... can hit with strength of 20. So as long as we stick with that forward shield at slow down by 8 more points of power, so speed of 6, we can take that shot on the nose and just keep on going. Of course, it is armed with two more phaser ones, which can increase the amount of firepower, but I think we have enough flexibility that we can just slow down. Or you could fire super early, and yeah, we can just ignore it. I'm going to get in there, and I'm tempted to try and attack it with infantry, try and send over marine boarding teams, but I'm a little gun-shy at trying that one. Slow down to a normal time. I don't want to fire my plasma torpedoes as of yet, just because I want the power for the defense. Oh, his plasma torpedo isn't ready yet. All weapons, open them up. No, I made the classic error and mistake. All cloak the ship. Disappear now. We must not be here. Also, cut the phaser capacitor way down. So the reason why we have cloaked is because he has plasma torpedoes, and they're now on. Let's get out of here before he decides to actually do something to us. Yeah, we made the classic mistake of firing all our plasma weapons at a station. The station has not only like 8 or 10 tractor beams, an absolute ridiculous number of tractor beams, it also has about 4 or 5 shuttles on board, all of which will have been converted to wild weasels, so you can't actually fire your plasma torpedoes all at the same time. You've got to do one after the other like we normally do. I got a little bit eager, got a little bit wanting to destroy the enemy, like we had blown up that asteroid base, and now it's going to mean that we have to waste a little bit of time as we circle back around, recharge our weapons, and, you know, do the good stuff. Also, the reason why we're escaping at a speed of 4 is purely because if we were trying to escape at any higher speed, he could mine us, and that would expose us, and then he could fire heavy weapons at us, and that would be bad. Alright, we're going to slow down just a little bit. If you don't mind just coming in here, Azula, that would be very helpful. And now we're just going to sit here. We only have 2 points of energy. However, when we decloak, we'll get 16 or 20 points of energy back. The only trouble, obviously, is the fact that he's immediately going to fire his plasma torpedo. So it's going to be a race against time. Decloak versus your plasma torpedo. And 8, 9, 10. It's going to be interesting. So it looks like we managed to take the damage. No problem at all. And increase speed just a little bit. Prepare the G-type plasma torpedo for long-range bombardment. And we're going to have to systematically fire this now. I think the only way we're going to get through this shield is if we just spam fire everything. And of course, there it is! The Wild Weasel once more. Gosh darn it. I don't quite know how I'm going to just hammer through this if I can't just fire a big hammer blow at you. We're just going to have to get close and hit you with phasers, I guess. Once the attack shift goes away, we'll fire our final plasma torpedo. All weapons select. No, we just want to. And attack shift go away, please, so that I can fire my heavy weapons at him. I know this is destroyed. It's not there anymore. Slow down, slow down, slow down. I think it's destroyed. No, no, no. Yeah, it's destroyed. All open select. Just... Oh, he's got to be charging standard ECM. Duh. I was like, why isn't this attack shift going away? Normally when you deploy Wild Weasel, it gives you enough power to basically get an attack shift of 2 right off the bat, which is, you know, super useful. Unfortunately, we're probably going to take another plasma torpedo to the teeth, and that's going to suck. So let's cut up. Phase capacitor is fully charged. We're good here now. And hopefully this will get up to 20 before he can fire that plasma torpedo. Okay, so we're at a protected level. And he did hit us with his plasma torpedo, I think. Wait, nope. It'll be coming out any moment now. There it is. Now all weapons fire. Unfortunately, we made the mistake. We are relearning how to play plasma. Or play against plasma, I guess. Shut off the point defense system. We don't actually fight plasma all that much here. Simply because the Federation doesn't carry much plasma. They have a few ships that have it. Yes, granted. Someone pointed this out in episode 1. They do have a couple of minor ships that do have plasma torpedoes. But for the most part, the Federation don't really use plasma all that much. So firing a whole bunch of plasma into him, basically, we're sitting here and sieging, and I would rather not be here for the entire episode. Unlike the last time, where it was somewhat interesting to siege a gigantic rock fortress, I'd rather not waste an entire episode on, well, basically destroying one of these. Come on, keep going. A little bit faster. Come on. I wish there was a higher time acceleration that we could do. Where are you going, Bluefire? You need to make up your mind. Sooner is better than later. Okay, so the Bluefire is going after the station. We will follow him so that we can double our efforts. Please, go after this one. I really don't understand how the AI works against installations anymore. It just doesn't seem to make a whole heck of a lot of sense. Like, this Dreadnought is just circling and doing long-range skirmishing, but it's a Dreadnought. This makes sense for frigates and heavy cruisers and the like, but not so much Dreadnoughts. Of course, he's going to have his Wild Weasel shuttle. Huh, I wonder if I can tractor beam him. Let's try. I mean, he's fired his plasma torpedo at this point, so there's no reason not to try. And if we can tractor beam him, then we can basically hit him with everything we've got. Doesn't look like it's tractor beamable. Haha, we did it faster than you could drop your Wild Weasel. Basically, we just got literally right on top of him and immediately fired all of our plasma torpedoes right into him. And we'll see if we can't get the collar phasers to do something. If I can get them on in time, they might be able to take out that shield. They did. So we've knocked out a couple of shields and 2 of his phaser 3s. That works out nicely. Unfortunately, I don't think we've... Oh, slow down. Slow down. Oh, no. He dropped it too close. Never mind. Don't worry about it at all. Okay, that one might become a problem. So slow down to 4. We're not super in a hurry to turn around at this point, but... yeah, get our phasers going on, lash out at him. There we go. We've knocked out the plasma F, so now we can just sit here and basically blast away. So increase the speed of time, because he's basically helpless before us now. You keep doing that, you're not going to accomplish anything. You're too close. Sometimes the is a bit silly. There we go. And of course now we do have to sort of creep out from underneath this mine, because it will activate if we go faster than the speed of 4. And hello, other Stardock. We're coming for you now. Increase the speed. Let's get this show on the road. We may have to do a point-blank range blast again. I'm half tempted to try using the nuclear space mine, but that would just be ridiculous. Mostly because in order to set it off, we would have to hit it ourselves, and we would rather not hit it. So there should be no plasma torpedo ready by the time we actually reach there, because he did fire when we were at a range of about 30. We're doing a speed of 15. Takes 2 turns to get there. So, 2 Drydocks destroyed as of right now. The K9 has basically not gotten involved in any fight. The best it's managed to do is toss a couple of missiles in towards a fight. Here comes some more. And do you want Wild Weasel? Well, you don't have a choice anymore because we blasted through. And then we hit him with the collar phasers, knock out that. Wow, again, the D-type plasma torpedo and these 2 phaser 3s, so it appears there is a strong weakness there. He has managed to get through our stern shields, which does suck a little bit. Not too badly, though. I'm not sure if his plasma F is down or not. It is showing yellow, so he could be repairing it, or we may just have out-of-date information about it. So we're just going to get a little bit closer in, find out exactly what's going on. And unfortunately we're going to have to chunk through this shield. Unfortunately though, it is the dull yellowish green color, so we can have not too much of a difficult time blasting through that. So we're just going to set up here and plink away with phasers. Maximum speed of time. Sink back down to the bottom of the map. As, yeah, he doesn't have enough power to charge that plasma torpedo. There we go. Drydock destroyed. Took us 13 minutes to do it, but Drydock destroyed. Take what we can get at this point. It is the early era. Attacking stations like this can be a little bit more difficult than it will be later on when we get much more heavy weapons and the stations do not. So 1450, yeah, we'll patch to 15. And go back out, because there's nothing for this price range that we're interested in yet. It's probably not going to be until the 24 to 2500 mark is when we'll start seeing, you know, more heavy cruisers. Battle alert, pick up some speed, and hope that it's Federation ships. Because if it's Klingon, well, it won't be Klingon. If it's Gorn, then it'll be a pain, because we'll have to prep a Wow Weasel. That's literally the only reason. So wait for them to show up, and in the meantime we will prep the forward shield. Are you really just a freighter? Yep, it is. It's one of those little tiny Orion freighters. So it looks like we're doing battle probably with the Orion Syndicate at this point. And who are you? Or rather, what do you have that I can steal? You have medical supplies. So we're going to nab that without too much trouble here. It's an FTQ. Basically a Q-ship. Thank you for the medical supplies. Good luck. And close to a range of 10, and we'll start to engage with the G-type plasma torpedoes. They're longer range. They'll keep their charge, so that by the time they hit it, they'll still be at full power. Second one. Third one. All weapons. There we go. Just sort of chain into it. Now we'll increase the speed of time and come around here and kill him. No. So, easy mission, easy money, although it won't be much prestige. We'll get 50 for stealing the medical supplies, so there is that. So a little... The last mission was 13 minutes. This one was a minute 18. Yes, consistency. That's what this game does. Early era tends to be a little bit like that. You'll either have really long battles or really short ones. We still want to keep putting the pressure on this planet. A planetary assault is an interesting thing to do with it. If we're properly supported, we can do this, or if it's a particularly weak planet. So, yeah, let's rock and roll. All hands to battle station. We're escorted by 2 C5s. Wow. We are escorted by the IKV Damslayer and the IKV Merciless. Both of these are C5 dreadnoughts. So, yeah. We came to party, it looks like, squaring off against a single heavy cruiser. What class are you? You are the CVL+, so you are a light carrier with the enhancements. And as soon as our phaser capacitor is charged, that's 1 turn in-game time, we'll be able to launch our first probe and find out exactly what he's carrying. At least 8 fighters, I want to say. The Federation really do buy into the carrier concept. I mean, they are, to a great extent, sort of the United States Navy. So they kind of buy into a lot of things that we bought into, including carriers. So let's find out exactly what we're dealing with here. And so we're looking at a galactic survey cruiser, essentially, minus a missile launcher. So the plus upgrade has got to be this quad phaser 3 rack. I'm sure of it. So the quad phaser 3 rack, the 2 phaser 1s and the forward arc firing, the 3 anti-missile defense systems, which will make these C5s not as happy, and 2 photon torpedoes, which is a fine armament. Yes, it's a little light for a heavy cruiser, especially when compared to, you know, the standard CA, which is 4, but it makes up for that for 4 more missile launchers. So a nice solid design here. And if it is a CVL, does indeed mean a light carrier, then he could be packing 8 to 10 fighters? Probably 6 to 8. Because this is the early era, and it is a light carrier, technically. So our weapons are fully charged. Let's make sure that forward shield is being reinforced, because he's about to fire his photon torpedoes in proximity mode. The photon torpedo, of course, a wonderful weapon, able to be fired in a variety of modes. Well, 3. Normal mode, fires it out. It goes out to a range of, I want to say, 50, but accurate really out to a range of about 8. And it'll deal 8 damage regardless of range if it hits you, but it's just a pure percentage chance of hitting you. Proximity mode is accurate out to like 30 at 50%, and beyond that it goes to 33%. It only does 4 damage when it hits you. Overload has a maximum range of 8, but really you want to fire it like 1 or 2, and it does 16 damage per hit. It's a very cool weapon. I approve of it quite a bit. So let's start to engage. Wrong button! He's gonna wild weasel that. Whoops! Didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that at all. So let's fire all our rear firing phasers and try and kill you. It's not a big deal. I mean... Oh! Were you packing a scatter pack on top of that? Point defense systems. No, not cloak. Did it try and cloak? I think I hit the wrong button. Yeah, it tried to cloak. So we're squaring off against the USS Rommel. I meant to hit the C key, not the X key, because the C key is the important one. It allows us to activate all our point defense systems. The X key, of course, being the let's disappear from the battle button. Not that it's a bad idea right now. I mean, you know, there's 2 dreadnoughts getting involved in the fight. So, decloak so we can get all that power back. All weapons select so we can start dealing some damage. He is doing a hard turn to get on towards us, which probably was a good idea. It saved him a couple of nice plinking hits on through his gone shields. So keep firing. And we'll come around and give him a little bit of the collar phasers. They're only phaser 2s, but phaser 2s are good enough. It won't be until the X era where those phaser 2s get upgraded to phaser X's, and those are fun. Come on, other 2. There we go. Yeah, he's starting to lose all power. Still dropping. 5.5 is his speed. He's still trying to lash out at us, which honestly is probably his best target. I mean, trying to break through 2 dreadnoughts worth of shields is not going to happen. So let's get around and basically wipe you out. Fortunately, none of our port side plasma torpedoes are ready. We're going to have to wait for the starboard plasma F to be in range. There we go. And then we're just going to wait until it hits before I phaser. Okay, he's destroyed. Looks like we're going after planet 11, which I think is unarmed. If it is armed, I believe it's only phaser 3s. Yep, it's just a phaser 3 contingent, so we're in good shape. Let's pick up some speed and get on some siege work. Yep, more siege work. Although, putting pressure on planets is important. Capturing planets gives us our empire a better economic base, which is important for getting more better ships, which is one of the reasons why you may notice that as campaigns go on, we tend to snowball into, well, us fighting freighters in, like, gigantic dreadnoughts. And that's why. Because we have an economic base, and they don't. Capturing planets helps. Capturing stations helps. Aside from just, you know, the repair work. So, yeah, because it's a planet, it won't have any shuttle bays that it can launch. I don't think, anyway. Fairly confident I've never seen a planet launch a shuttle at me. So we're just going to pull up right outside and blast away. Our plasma torpedoes don't require us to be that close, but we're going to try and get that close. Go to normal people time and start to slow down because we don't want to actually hit the planet. Okay, now we can go to maximum people time as we slow down and just inch on in. Pull into a parking orbit, nice and gently. 9, 8. The range to stay outside, of course, is 3. So we're going to pull to 5.99, which is transporter range. And almost there. There we are. All stop. All weapons. Kill. Boom. 76 damage in one shot. Marines, how did that do for prepping the planet? It's going to take some work. We got 15 more people to blast. So we'll continue to plink away with the phasers while we wait 3 turns for our heavy weapons to recharge. That's the one downside of playing plasma. You've got basically 1 bullet in your gun, and then it's like a musketman reloading. Photon torpedoes take 2 turns. Most missile launchers take 1 turn, although the missile launcher A takes 2 turns, and the missile launcher C takes half a turn. The disruptor takes a single turn. The expanding sphere generator, I want to say takes 2 turns. I might be wrong on that, and which is kind of funny because we just finished a campaign with the expanding sphere generator. Fusion beams take 1 turn to cool down and 1 turn to charge, which is a little bit interesting and weird how they do that. Almost got him down. Oh, they've done it. Send over the Marines. Wow, we beam over a lot of people in one go. I know we've stolen Klingon ships, but I didn't quite realize the Romulans kept that many transporters. Come on, finish taking the planet for me. Come on. The planet has been captured. Although we should keep that in mind. If we can beam over like 8 people in one go, that's really powerful. We should use that a lot. I'm going to have to check the transporter numbers. Because then we'll be able to really start taking it to people. 495 prestige. Excellent. No tile neutral yet. So we're going to pop back home, but just really quick. Hi, shipyard. The WVL. This is the War Vulture Early Dreadnought. I think we've seen this before. We've seen the WVL Plus, right? Nope. The VUL Plus is what we've seen. So we're onto the War Vultures. Up from the Vultures. And that's basically an increase in total engine power. Wow. Okay. So, important thing to note about this. Total engine power for this Dreadnought is 20. This is an old-style Romulan vessel. The normal one... Oh, nope. So, this is like old, ancient style. Romulans don't do well with warp technology. The War Vulture is a total power of 41. And that is because we traded with the Klingons for, you know, better warp technology. Also only has a single transporter. Of course, the cloaking cost on the Vulture Early Dreadnought is a single point. So, most of this energy goes into powering these plasma torpedoes. Oh, that's beautiful. And then, of course, you go up to the King Vulture Early Dreadnoughts for even more power. But yeah, this right here, going from the Vulture Plus to the War Vulture, represents the Romulan-Klingon Treaty, or the Klingon-Romulan Treaty, take your pick how you want to say it, where they traded the technology, because this is where the Romulans were with warp technology, and then this is what they jumped to. From a total warp power of 6 to an engine that is a total warp power of 30. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, we're obviously not going to buy it. Is there anything... And also, you know, Romulan ships are pretty dirt cheap on the lower levels. Wow! Looks like a frigate line just got run off. A whole bunch of small little frigates. So yeah, we've definitely hit a brand new era. All of these Sparrowhawk priority transports. Oh, that's interesting. But not anything that we're looking for yet. We want something bigger, more powerful, and more effective. But that is going to have to wait until another day. We're going to pop in here and buy a whole bunch of people, because we're going to end the episode right here. 50 Marines, because we've realized that we can capture a lot of things. Anyway, this is the map as things stand. Us putting pressure on the planet here at 1511. So that'll end the episode. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.